This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. Americans say it is their #1 concern, the violent crime that has taken over so many of our streets. It was the only concern tonight of the U.S. Senate trying to break a deadlock on the Brady bill before heading home for the holidays. Chief Washington correspondent Bob Schieffer has the latest on gun control and the holdup on the Hill.
This was supposed to be the traditional picture of weary legislators finally winding up their business and going home for the year. But of course, that's not what it was at all. As House members headed into the night, Senate Republicans held up adjournment by going into yet another filibuster against the Brady bill, claiming this time they couldn't accept slight modifications that a conference committee had made in the bill the Senate approved last week.
We proceeded to act in good faith and permitted the bill to come up the other night, and the reward we got was Zippo, zero.
The new hang-up, oddly enough, it's when and how to phase out the legislation once the country gets a new national computer system which will allow instant background checks on gun purchasers.
The House bill provided for a phase-out of the waiting period after 5 years. The Senate bill provided 4 years plus an additional 1 year if the Attorney General so decided. That's a distinction without a difference in practical terms.
Surely, the president told both sides, that can be resolved.
You know me, I believe in miracles. I believe that we may still get this worked out.
But the Republican leader was smarty.
For being flexible, we got shafted.
And the more they argued, the more tangled it became. The Democratic leader stated the obvious.
I believe that what we have here is plainly and obviously a filibuster to prevent the Senate from voting on this measure.
And by tonight, the argument had shifted from the Senate floor to behind closed doors, and suddenly both sides said an agreement may be possible, a way may be found out of this mess. Here's what they're talking about. The Republicans would allow the Brady bill as written to become law. In return, Democrats would agree to consider modification of the bill next year with new legislation. Connie?
All right, Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill. Thank you. The Brady bill is largely symbolic, so if and when it does become law, no one is expecting it to put a serious dent in violent crime. Certainly no one at the scene of the crime on the mean streets of America's big cities. As Giselle Fernandez reports, people there will tell you it will take a lot more to disarm the criminals.
As Washington continues its long debate on gun control, another family suffers the anguish of a loved one gunned down. Gurdas Singh was killed in a robbery at his gas station, even though he tried to take safety precautions. He bought the station because he thought his former job driving a cab was too dangerous.
How does he why anybody should shoot him or kill him for just a few dollars?
Singh was just one of 10 people murdered in one night alone in New York City last week, none killed with the assault weapons banned by the Senate, leading some on the front lines to doubt the crime bill's provisions can end the headlines.
They're important steps in terms of crime control, but in no sense are they going to stop the violence that's now destroying our cities.
In New York City, gun laws are already stiffer than those proposed in Washington, yet police continue to seize thousands of illegal guns. Protesters use the shoes of victims to bring home the reality. And this week even painted a wall with the names of victims, 17,000 killed this year. A mounting death toll many say the Brady bill can't and won't erase.
It's estimated that we have between 1 million and 1.7 million guns in New York City. So it's not going to address the resident inventory of guns, but hopefully it'll slow down that influx.
But not for those buying guns easily at places like Mama's Fried Chicken. Police raided the Bronx food chain and confiscated an arsenal of weapons sold over the counter like fries. No waiting period here.
If you want guns, you can get them anywhere. You can get them anywhere.
New York's police commissioner says the nation needs more than just a new law regulating gun sales. He proposes much stiffer anti-crime measures. For example, making the possession, let's say, of ammunition against the law. That, he says, is the kind of bold step necessary if we're to end the madness on the streets. Giselle Fernandez, CBS News, New York.
Before Congress could make at least one kind of ammunition illegal, the manufacturer has decided to make it unavailable. It's the Black Talon bullet, and Winchester Ammunition is pulling it off the open market. Correspondent John Blackstone explains why.
In the campaign for gun control, the Black Talon bullet became a target. The bullet's advanced design, the cutting claws that open on impact, quickly gave it a nasty reputation.
It basically produces small prongs as it spins through its victim, and is designed basically to produce a huge amount of tissue damage and to kill people.
Surgeons worried the sharp points could rip rubber gloves and spread AIDS. Police called it a cop killer. Charles Ross has been working to get the bullet banned since he was shot, and 8 of his fellow workers were killed by a gunman using Black Talons this summer.
I think the mood of the country clearly has changed just since I got shot. People are realizing that the victims of shooting are everywhere.
Today, gun control advocates and police are praising the maker of the Black Talon, Winchester Ammunition. Winchester is pulling the Black Talon off the market, though it will still make the bullet available to police departments.
Despite the advertising hype about Black Talon or any other soft point bullet, they've been around and used for self-defense and are required for hunting.
The pressure is now on other ammunition makers to keep any bullets like the Black Talon off the market.
If they don't, we'll tax them out of existence. The public is beginning to understand that guns don't kill people, bullets do.
But today, in emergency rooms across the country, there was relief. One killer has been taken off the streets. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
Banning bullets and banning guns. Still ahead on tonight's Eye on America, how one state has taken aim at one of the smallest guns with the largest appeal. And the 72 massacre in Munich. New details on how Israeli agents exacted a bloody revenge.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. And you can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Also available in tablets and now gel caps.
Introducing the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. With this MasterCard, when you buy something you want, you earn something you need. Free Shell gasoline. With the new Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, average drivers could save 10% of their yearly gasoline costs. Use the card just 6 times a year and there's no annual fee. To apply for the Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank, call 1-800-FREE-GAS.
President Clinton says it isn't so. He is not softening U.S. policy or backing away from a confrontation with North Korea over its nuclear program. But following talks today with the president of South Korea, Mr. Clinton called for conciliation with the hardline communist rulers of the North. White House correspondent Rita Braver has the story.
President Clinton had said his meeting with South Korean President Kim Young-sam would yield a new approach to pressuring North Korea into opening its nuclear facilities to international inspection. But what emerged was a vague plan with no specifics.
We are prepared to discuss with North Korea a thorough, broad approach to the issues that divide us, and once and for all, to resolve the nuclear issue.
Privately, U.S. officials say they left the situation deliberately obscure in deference to the South Koreans, who are concerned about any move that would make them seem to lose face with the North. Administration officials said one suggestion that the U.S. offer to cancel next year's joint military maneuvers with South Korea, known as Team Spirit, would not be forthcoming until North Korea offered to both resume talks with South Korea and to allow nuclear inspections.
That is something that would have to be decided by both of us at a later date, depending on what would be done or not done by North Korea. We've made no decision on that and no commitment on that. And we couldn't now.
The U.S. would also like to threaten international sanctions if North Korea doesn't agree to inspections and to nuclear non-proliferation. But the president said that after last week's meetings with Japan and China, it is clear that neither of those countries is eager to impose sanctions. And as he learned last week when China took a hard line against U.S. pressure for reform on human rights, making demands of Asian nations can backfire. That's another reason why the administration is treading cautiously when dealing with a nation as volatile and unpredictable as North Korea. Rita Braver, CBS News at the White House.
Israel and the PLO resumed talks today on an Israeli pullout from occupied Arab lands. And while the two sides make peace, secrets are beginning to emerge from their long years of conflict. In 1972, PLO terrorists murdered a dozen Israeli athletes at the Munich Olympics. The rest of that story hasn't been told until now. Correspondent Bob Simon reports.
As the coffins came home, a nation mourned, and behind her tears, the nation's leader was taking a far-reaching decision. Golda Meir ordered the Mossad to assassinate all the PLO members involved in the Munich massacre. The killing campaign began a month later and went on for years. Israeli officials have maintained a stony silence about the operation until yesterday. Aaron Yariv, Mrs. Meir's advisor on terror, went on national television to acknowledge Israeli responsibility for the killings, to describe what was done, where, when, and how. Rome, October 16, 1972. Adel Zweitar became the first target. 2 killers, 12 bullets. December 72. Mohammed Hamshari's phone rang in Paris. He shouldn't have answered it because it blew up when he did. A few months later, Basil El-Kubaisi took a stroll in Paris, his last one. One after the other they fell: an exploding bed in Cyprus, a car bomb in Paris, a booby-trapped hotel room in Athens. How many in all? I'm not sure, Yariv said, between 10 and 15. But the architect of the Munich massacre, Ali Hassan Salami, known as the Red Prince, continued to elude the Mossad. In July of 73, Israeli agents thought they had him cornered in a little town in Norway called Lillehammer. They shot the man dead, but it was the wrong man, a Moroccan waiter. The campaign was called off, or so it seemed, but 6 years later, a car bomb exploded in Beirut, and the Red Prince was history. The most dramatic operation of the entire campaign was a 1973 commando raid into Beirut, which killed 3 Black September leaders. One of the Israeli commandos was Amnon Shahak, now Israel's chief negotiator in the peace talks with the PLO. Bob Simon, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
It's been 5 days since the warring factions in Bosnia agreed to stop blocking UN relief trucks. But tonight, most of the desperately needed food and medicine is still being held up at roadblocks. Airdrops are getting through, and this week the U.S. and its allies began Operation Provide Santa for the children of Bosnia. More than 30 tons of donated toys and gifts will be dropped in by Christmas. An early winter is adding to the suffering in the Balkans as snow covers most of Europe. Freezing temperatures have been blamed for at least 34 deaths in Europe, many of them homeless people. Stay with us for much more CBS Evening News, including the growing rap against gangster rappers.
Big idea.
Salad shooter.
From Presto, professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity and power. Special blades to point and slice thick, slice thin, shred, even ripple cut. Right where you want.
Salad shooter.
From Presto.
How do you give low-saturated fat oils like canola a different taste? Add corn oil.
Only Mazzola Right Blend blends the leading corn oil with canola, with 1 gram of saturated fat per serving.
Blend good taste into your healthy cooking with Mazzola Right Blend.
You've never had cereal like this before. It has the enticing aroma and the spice of ground cinnamon, the delicious, savory crunch of rolled oats baked to perfection, the sweetness of brown sugar, a touch of vanilla, and a sprinkling of nutmeg. There's never been cereal like this before. The new Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat brand, now baked with an even more irresistible recipe. Kellogg's Cracklin' Oat brand. It's the brand you'll eat for taste alone.
When it comes to great resorts, nothing beats a Carnival cruise. All your daytime fun, all your nighttime shows and entertainment, and all your foods included too in one low price. Free! Gage, what are you doing here?
You have to ask?
I think I do have to ask,
I mean,
yes.
after all these years of it, see me now.
It must be working, huh?
Working on me.
Take a 3, 4, or 7-day vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
All right, Kathy, it's a fun shit.
A deadly train crash. One rescuer emerged a hero. Another was unknown until now. What makes a hero? 48 Hours, Wednesday.
More legal problems looming tonight for pop star Michael Jackson. Lawyers for Jackson are now backpedaling on court testimony today that a grand jury is investigating child sex abuse accusations, which could result in criminal charges. And a judge in California today set March 21st for Jackson's civil trial on sex abuse charges made by a 13-year-old boy. Right from the very start in the 1950s, many grown-ups equated rock and roll with rampant sex and violence. Today, many people who grew up with rock and roll say the same thing about the rap music their kids are listening to. Only now, it's not just the words and music. Correspondent Richard Threlkeld reports tonight on gangster rappers on the record and on the street.
He's known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, and his new record album, Doggy Style, out today, will likely go right to the top of the charts. To millions of teenagers, most of them white, he's the poet laureate of gangsta rap, the rap style of a ghetto world where everybody's got a gun, women are bitches, and shooting cops is fair game. He's also just been indicted for murder in Los Angeles. Snoop Doggy Dogg, born Calvin Brodus, insists he's innocent and he's free on $1 million bail. Last week, another gangsta rapper and film star, Tupac Shakur, was accused of sexually abusing a woman in a New York hotel. Shakur's also been charged with shooting 2 off-duty cops in Atlanta.
Gangster rap has become incredibly popular and profitable by selling lyrics about black-on-black violence to a young mainstream audience that wouldn't dream of going anywhere near a ghetto. Now that some of its stars stand accused of doing what they've been rapping about, life seems to be imitating art, so to speak.
And the Reverend Jesse Jackson said today he may target some of the record companies which distribute gangster rap albums.
Never before has there been such a will to use music, to advertise self-destructive violence.
The rappers argue that they're only painting word pictures about real life on the mean streets of America.
There's no difference in rappers. We all represent the consciousness of our people.
One result of all the notoriety is that Snoop Doggy Dogg and the others are likely to sell even more records. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
A strike by more than 17,000 coal miners is ending. The United Mine Workers today settled the last remaining issue in the walkout, amnesty for strikers accused of violence on the picket lines. The walkout started last May over job security. American Airlines says more than half of its flights are back to normal today now that the strike by thousands of flight attendants is over. But it doesn't necessarily guarantee smooth holiday traveling for the flying public. That's because unions representing thousands of United Airlines pilots and ground crews are calling for a work-by-the-rule-book slowdown. United's management recently rejected a buyout offer from its employees. Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, cutting through the smoke to make sure consumers get the message.
Start fresh and get a whole other kind of chip.
Chip Shot.
Presto Chip Shot potato chips. Slices so thin they gotta be crisp. Regular or ripple cut. Fry them up or even microwave for a light, no-fat chip.
Chip Shot.
Perfect Chip Shot slices. Flavor them up for the taste you want. Clean up easy. Dishwasher safe.
Chip Shot.
Crisp, light, delicious. A whole other kind of chip. Chip Shot potato chipper.
Chip Shot.
From Presto.
At 5 a.m., all the Millers can think about is that first get-you-going cup of coffee. That eye-opening, fill-the-kitchen aroma of Folgers Crystals. It all begins with mountain-grown beans, fresh brewed, then crystallized, for a deep, dark, rich coffee just waiting to become your welcome to the day. There's no other coffee that kicks off the Miller's morning like Folgers Crystals.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Norelco says don't shave your legs, baby them. With Norelco's incredibly close, comfortable shave that leaves you baby smooth, baby soft. Norelco Lady Shave Razors, dry or wet, we make close comfortable.
You can't breathe. Your sinuses are blocked. Last time you got a doctor's prescription. This time he told you to get Tavis D, the same full-strength medicine without a prescription.
Good morning.
Tavis D, 1 tablet, 12 hours, no prescription.
Who has the better credit card deal? We'll show you.
Plus, how exercise helps you master middle age.
Tomorrow on CBS This Morning, breakfast for your head.
If you're using the official USDA Food Nutrition Guidebook to count cholesterol, fat, and calories, turns out you can't count on it. For instance, congressional investigators found the nutrition breakdown on a bacon cheeseburger came straight from a fast food chain with no independent analysis. The Agriculture Department says it's working to improve the guide. There will be no mistaking the government's message on cigarettes if some members of Congress and the Clinton administration get their way. Correspondent Linda Douglas reports on turning a whole new leaf tonight in the tobacco wars.
This may be remembered as the year Washington declared war on smoking. Some leaders of that war said today they have just begun to fight against tobacco.
It is the only legal product in America that kills when used as intended.
The latest piece of anti-smoking legislation would put stark new warnings on tobacco products, like cigarettes can kill you, and smoke from these cigarettes can cause cancer in non-smokers. Billboard ads would have to enlarge cigarette warnings, and tobacco sponsorship of sports and music events would be restricted. Tobacco companies argue that violates their constitutional rights.
And that is the government being able to say that certain people don't have the right to freedom of speech, which is obviously wrong.
The new law would also require warnings on anything bearing a cigarette brand name: hats, t-shirts, tapes, items aimed at young people.
We know that the tobacco industry is preying on kids to make up for those that they lose who die and quit smoking each year.
The tobacco industry is getting it from all sides. Another proposed law would declare tobacco a drug to be regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. Meanwhile, the Clinton administration is proposing a big new tax on tobacco to help pay for health reform, including a 10,000% increase in the tax on chewing tobacco, which is often used by children. And Congress is considering a ban on smoking inside any public building. Smokers say soon there will be no place to run, no place to hide.
I only smoke leaning against this column and at home. I go to my friends' houses. Most of my friends have either quit or never smoked. And everybody's bugging me about it.
Linda Douglas, CBS News, Washington.
What gives new improved Healthy Choice soup its bigger, better taste?
Well, it's simple. You get more.
More big chunks of vegetables. More home-style noodles than ever before. And still less fat than the leading soup.
You gotta want more.
And lean, tender cuts of chicken for a more savory taste than ever before.
This soup tastes great.
New improved Healthy Choice soup with a bigger, better, bolder, tastier new taste. Healthy Choice.
Some nights, my husband Ben is out there for hours, in spite of his minor arthritis pain. When he has a flare-up, he takes Advil. For minor arthritis pain, doctors recommend Advil most. And Advil's gentler on his stomach than aspirin. He says Advil lets him get back to doing what he loves. And without the pain, he sleeps better. Says he wakes up feeling ready for another day. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
For sinus pain and pressure relief, take Tristan Sinus. It contains ibuprofen with 40 million prescriptions, but combined in non-prescription strength with the decongestant doctors recommend most. Tristan Sinus with 2 doctor-recommended medicines.
Got all of that one.
Yeah. Hey, how'd you swing that Grand Prix? You were talking about a Taurus, right?
I did the numbers. Turns out Grand Prix is the most affordable mid-size sedan you can get with a V6, anti-lock brakes, and standard dual airbags.
Really? You got a special deal or what?
Didn't need to. Came that way. Best part is, it's a Pontiac. Quick, handles great.
Wish I could drive like that.
Get a Grand Prix.
Attention heartburn sufferers.
If antacids work, why do I keep getting heartburn?
You know, frequent heartburn may be a sign of a more serious medical problem.
your doctor has treatment plans that can help.
Frequent heartburn. Isn't it time you talk to your doctor?
The battle over the Brady bill has been dragging on for years, and in states all over America, gun control advocates are saying, we can't wait any longer. If Congress won't take action, we will. In Wisconsin, they're going after a weapon named for one of the bloodiest nights of the week. Correspondent Bob McNamara reports tonight's Eye on America.
Mr. President!
It is the kind of gun that triggered the Brady bill, that routinely hits the wrong people and repeatedly falls into the wrong hands. Saturday night specials, low cost, low quality, highly accessible handguns have now become targets themselves.
Guns with a barrel length of less than 4 inches, guns like this.
Wisconsin Attorney General James Doyle has declared war on short-barreled handguns and the people who profit from them.
You know, this is mass marketing. This is McDonald's stamping out Big Macs, and people can pick them up for $20, $25. Kids can buy these guns with babysitting money.
In Milwaukee, cheap, easy-to-hide pistols are used in 2 out of 3 handgun homicides.
We destroy them as fast as they come in, but they're still coming in by the hundreds.
At the Wisconsin State Crime Lab, Monty Lutz has seen a boom in the popularity of short-barrel handguns.
Concealability. That is the main purpose that the short guns are being carried, because they can be put into a pocket.
Good evening, Handgun Hotline.
Already here, handgun buyers have to pass a background check for felony convictions.
This is a list of our denials that we've had.
And sit out a 48-hour waiting period.
Just wait 48 hours from 5/16.
The new law would require special licenses for dealers selling short-barrel guns.
The buyer's last name.
And fingerprint anyone buying the small handguns. In 2 years, the hotline has approved 70,000 handgun sales.
I'm wondering what they're doing with all the guns. And the scariest thing is that most of the people who are buying the guns are the ones that do have a record a mile long.
Here in Milwaukee, the fear of street crime has launched another movement, this time to ban handguns completely. But it's that same fear of crime that's fueled this state's backlash to gun control.
What we have is a crime control problem, not a gun control problem.
To gun dealers,
there's enough guns on the street now to last forever.
And their customers,
and they're not going to get them off.
New gun laws seem pointless.
It's going to have no effect on what happens with crime.
You have to teach people right from wrong, not take away the weapons.
10 seconds, stand by.
A ban on handguns in Milwaukee.
It has become a kind of background music.
Handguns, it's a threat to public health and safety.
In a country trying to do the right thing.
Paul is on the line from Greenfield. Hi.
But this familiar old fight.
Non-stop bickering.
You aren't here to save lives, you're here to sell weapons.
Equal parts rhetoric.
We don't get $1 of support.
And self-righteous anger.
By the time we are done with this campaign, the NRA will be viewed as a paid assassin with the blood of the children of Milwaukee on its hands.
So far, this fight has done little for a public armed mostly with fear.
Every day in the newspaper there's something.
We feel very afraid.
And frustration.
People want to be able to protect themselves.
I'll bet you just about everybody here has got a gun in their house.
And a fading memory of how things used to be.
It's getting kind of out of hand.
In Milwaukee, Bob McNamara for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Coming up tomorrow on CBS This Morning, the latest on the Michael Jackson story. I'm Connie Chung in New York. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us. For Dan Rather and all of us at CBS News, good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.
Exclusive behind closed doors at the private clinic where Michael Jackson is said to be hiding. Plus, why is Candace Bergen throwing eggs at her neighbor on Hard Copy next?
Get to Burlington Coat Factory now for these terrific